All right. Welcome into the half, everybody. And my name is Aaron Montgomery. This is Eric Campbell. Eric, we made it. We slid on in.
We are here, yeah, on fire as usual, slid in sideways on fire, but we are here and available.
Excellent. Yeah. So looking forward to a great opportunity to have some Q&A, answer any questions that everybody
Yes,
has,
please.
and just interact with all of the folks that we get an opportunity to interact with here on the half. So Christine, hello. Thanks for being here.
Hi,
We got
Christine.
Adam and Jeff checking in. Thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely.
And Richard, good morning again. Good to see you again.
Morning, Richard.
Ramona, morning.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome, Justin. Absolutely.
Yes, 30 minutes of shenanigans. That's probably should be the byline. I mean, 30 minutes of shenanigans.
I like it.
Exactly what's about to happen.
All right. And so just real quick, too, to let everybody know, I've got the mobile set up here and haven't figured out exactly how to make this all work. So cameras up here on the top of the big monitor, and then the comments are down here. So I apologize for being all over the place. But and then I believe this is Todd checking in. It's Smokey and the Bandit coming in from our success group there.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that, man. I mean, who's Burt Reynolds here? I mean, I do have the mustache.
Yeah, that is true. I think you're Burt Reynolds. So would that make you Smokey or the Bandit? No, that would make you the Bandit.
I guess, right? Yeah, Smokey's the cops.
Been too long since
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I'm the guy driving the big rig truck, apparently. So
it's not the one with the monkey, is it? I don't like that one.
Something like that. Hi, Lori. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
And
oh, here we go.
Ramona says, P.S. I don't care what they say. I'm going to Chicago, even if I have to stay in my room. We will be there. So
yeah, if you guys we were talking a little bit about the eventualities in the future of trade shows the rest of the year, because there's been some concerns there, and we're talking about what's going on with all the shows, and at DAX Chicagoland's still going on. I'll say I'm booked too, and I'm booked to teach. So if I'm out there to teach for hours, believe me, I'm trying to get out there. Yeah. Just got back from Minnesota, and we had a lot of good engagement. Was it smaller? Yes, it is. There's no arguing that was not a smaller show than most years. But as Aaron said on the two regular guys, he didn't get to catch that. We really did have a lot of engagement, deeper engagement with people, which is really cool. So
there you go. I'm looking forward to it, Ramona. So we'll see you there. And Sheila, good morning. Thanks for being here. Sheila. And Lisa. And Todd says, I'm Snowman. That's apparently the truck driver.
Okay, good enough.
Mike, hello. Good morning. Thanks
good morning, Mike. Reciprocator number one.
Yep. Christine says, I'm thinking I will be in Chicago. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. So great.
I hope so. I missed Christine up in Minnesota. We usually have our that's kind of like our time to get to hang out and do the late dinner and kind of catch up for the year. So I always love doing that in Minnesota.
There you go. But, hello from Texas.
Marta, happy to have you in.
All right. Good. Marta. I always forget. So I always leave that for you, Eric. Thank you.
I try and remember everybody, but hey, I don't always know everybody from business names either. So sometimes I get business names or short names I don't always remember. But Marta, I know.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Hi, Marta. Hello from Texas. Todd, now I'm me. Rich, hello. Sally, hi there.
It's Jeff.
Jeff says, I'm debating Chicago. It's only a 5-hour drive. Yeah. So,
I mean, I really always love the Tinley Park show. It's a really fantastic venue. The area is nice. And it's, like I said, it's always a greght show. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. I know it'll be smaller than a usual year, but I'm really happy to say that, it was good to get out and see people and teach for those people who really learn best that way.
Yeah. And just as an aside here, so it's Friday, Saturday show in Tinley Park, which is the DAX Chicago show. And on Friday night after the show, Scott and Margie, the people who put on DAX, they always do a nice party. They call it a party. It just they bring in food, and everybody has a chance to kind of just socialize and hang out and eat some food and stuff like that. So that's the party. But then we all know that after the party is the after party, right?
100%. Yeah, that's how that works.
The after party don't stop, right? According to a rapper of some notoriety. So after the party that Dax has, we will be going across the street to the Buffalo Wild Wings over there for our success group party, which basically is where our success group was born back in 2019. It was where Todd and I started the idea up, and by January of 2020, we got our success group off the ground. So that party, actually, you were there, Eric, was the 300th episode party for Two Regular Guys that year. So
yes, it was, and it definitely went on a little bit. Let's say that it didn't stop very quickly.
It did not stop.
It did not stop. So. And if you go back and see any of those live videos, you can tell that it was a fun time had by all.
Nice. All right. So anyhow, if you get a chance to be there, make sure that you get to the party for Dax, and then afterwards heading over across the street to the Buffalo Wild Wings to enjoy some additional fun and just hanging out and talking shop or not talking shop or whatever it is that, just an opportunity to commune together, hopefully. So that'll be happening there in Chicago. Christine says, if I'm in Chicago, Eric, we'll have to do dinner or a drink. I think I'll be staff in Katie Wubin's booth, so I'll be in on Thursday.
Well, and Katie had a great booth. She's with Trouble Me Not Embroidery. She had a great booth at both the DAX shows. And, I know she's at Applicate Getaway as well. So you guys all got to see her. If you didn't see, Aaron embroidered, and Katie helped him do that. So there's video online now of Aaron and embroidery machine. Yeah. I mean, I only feel like slightly cheated that I wasn't the one to get him on an embroidery machine.
Well, but you also reminded me after the fact that I actually have a fantastic digitized version of my logo, of the Our Success Group logo.
I was like, why are you typing up text after I myself digitized your logo for your company, my man?
I dropped the ball on that one for sure, but I do now have it on a jump drive that I carry with me at all times, Eric. So
I wasn't that harmed. I promise that I wasn't upset. But I just thought it was funny. I was like, my man, you got a logo.
Where is it?
What are you doing? What are you typing text for? No, it was cool to watch Aaron do setup, and Katie did help him get on a machine and stitched up mounts. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full 15 minutes of experience now. So if anybody needs a machine embroidery operator.
In the current environment, we would absolutely put you on. In the current environment, you are right now an embroidery operator.
I'm worthy of a job at this point. Yeah. All right.
Let's just say I started my career as an embroidery operator with less. so yeah, trust me, you'll be fine.
All right. So Kathleen says hi there from Pennsylvania. So thanks for checking in, Kathleen. And Ramona says it's the 6-hour drive rule. Yeah, I'm with our new vehicle. We've upped ours to the 8 or 9 hour drive rule. That's what.
Yeah, I'm from the middle of New Mexico. The drive rule changes a lot when you're on like a landlocked island, essentially in the middle of nowhere. So we drive some hours for stuff more regularly.
There you go. Tom checking in. Hello, Tom. Thanks for being here.
Tom, Buzzard's Bay Embroidery. Excellent.
Yep. Sally says we need some UK shows.
That's what I always hear. Then from what I've heard about shows, and honestly from the people who I know who do UK shows, that they're different. The stand-up shows are a little smaller. They're a little different than what we do. We kind of do a larger thing out here in the US, and I agree. I would love to see you guys have some shows kind of more like our banner shows.
Yep, exactly.
And to be invited to them.
I have done a couple of trade shows in the UK. So there was one called Impressions, I believe, that was their bigger one for a while. I don't know if that one's still going on. So
yeah, I've been invited to do FESPA before and never have managed to make it happen. But I would love to go out and do FESPA also. But we'll, there's time for that. There's time for that.
Yeah. So Todd says we'll be leaving Cook County for greener land.
We'll have, like I said, we'll have to see how everything shakes up. I mean, right now we're all booked, everything's good, people are lined up. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on things as we have to.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So Todd says KC in Minnesota was a 5 to 6 hour drive for them. Not bad at all. Yep. Christine says it was awesome to see Katie teach Aaron. She made him do everything too, which I thought was good. Katie telling me that I have to be next though. So
the fact that you worked at Enmart and have not yet is a travesty. It is time. It is time to push the button.
Nice. So Lisa says first test, so second one has experience under the belt. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get hit with industry veteran like I get, which, by the way, still hurts. But you can do it now.
Does that mean old guy, veteran? Is that industry veteran means old guy?
I hope not, but I think it does. Yeah. I will say it does sting once in a while, as much as I'm like, there's this weird little roller coaster of emotion when somebody goes, I've done my whole career reading stuff that you've written. And at first I go, oh, that's an honor that they got so much out of what I wrote. And then I go, your whole career though? Like your whole career though? Because that couldn't happen. I couldn't have been writing for your whole career. I have a whole shop, and this is my second location, and I did it all while reading your stuff. I'm like, oh man, just one foot fell a little further into the grave that day.
Yeah, no, totally. All right, Jeff says in quotes, "I'm here for the embroidery operator's position." Have you done embroidery before? I Googled in the parking lot. You're hired.
I know, it's like, do you know not to put your fingies in the sticky part? Yeah, good job. You're good. Don't put it under the stabbies, and you're fine. like we'll figure the rest out with you.
Well, thanks to Ramona, I have all the tools I need too, and everything.
This is true. She can, at least you can poke it with a stick instead of putting your fingers underneath the stabby parts.
And Christine says she would go to a trade show in the UK.
I know, right?
Enjoy that trip. And then Christine says, I was never allowed to touch the embroidery machines, especially the multi-heads. The automat room at Ensign Enmart was very intimidating.
Now, what I'm going to say is that is absolutely the case. If you guys don't know, Enmart was part of Ensign Emblem, which is an old school emblem house, which means they had lots of equipment. They had the big iron, big multi-head machines, and it's not the same as, Aaron loaded up on a little Melco and ran around. I'm not saying you can't absolutely stab yourself or give yourself a thread tattoo on it, but yeah, running the big multi-heads is a different game. The first time you push the button on, more than 12 heads, then you're probably thinking a lot about it.
Yeah. As I say, I felt pretty safe. So, but again, yes, thanks Ramona for the no prick finger stick. Yes.
Yes, the magical chopstick that keeps us from stabbing ourselves with our needles or getting a presser foot to smash our finger when we're putting on applique by hand.
All right. You mean they don't work like those cool saws that when it hits hot dog it stops?
No, let me tell you what. Number one, absolutely not. They do not. Number two, even when they do have security sensors, and some do, some have laser beam sensors where if you put your hands in the sewing field, it stops the machine. There are plenty that do. I myself have been in more than one shop where they taped one sensor to the other sensor on one side of the machine and took them out of line or disabled them somehow in a more technical way. People disable those sensors all the time. It's not the right thing to do, but people do it a lot so that they can pick threads while things are running. And I spent my entire early career on machines that had no such sensors, and I picked threads off of running machines all the time. It was how it was done. But I've never, knock on wooden objects. I've never managed to give myself a thread tattoo. I've never done that. I've gotten real close a few times, but I definitely have not. I've not stabbed myself yet.
Nice. Well, I felt very safe the entire time, so we'll just leave it at that. All right, we got a couple more comments coming in here, Eric. But let us know what questions you guys have here, guys. We want to answer any questions you might have. The intention here is it to be a Q&A session completely wide open. So anything, there's nothing off limits. There's no, we'll answer whatever we can. If we don't know the answer, we'll figure out who might.
Decoration, embroidery, sublimation, e-commerce, marketing, success. What do you got?
What Eric ate for breakfast this morning? It doesn't. How many?
Absolutely nothing.
How many cups of coffee have you had?
One black coffee. One black coffee and 4 ibuprofen because I had a migraine this morning.
All right. So let's catch a couple more of the comments here.
Let's do some more.
Bevy Jean said, sorry I'm late. We'll catch up on the beginning on the rerun.
Catch up if you want. Yeah. Happy to have you. That's why we have those.
You're never late here. You're never late
to the half. The half happens when you are here.
Yes. Christine said the 30 head looked like they could eat me if I wanted to do that. I was seriously intimidated by those machines.
30 head machine, they're big. They are sincerely big. When I joke around and say big iron, I'm like, I'm not lying. Those machines are really big.
So Todd says you can't say lasers without the air quotes. It's the law. So.
I could have said frickin' lasers. I'm old enough for that. That reference.
So Justin says I perfected the hand under the beam technique.
Dude, don't tell people. Don't admit that you're good at the hand under the beam technique.
All right. And then our we've had some other questions, but we'll just say our first formal question here, Eric. Fine. Did you get the car back in time?
No, I did not. Apparently, something went horribly wrong with my car rental agreement, and I had to pay some hourly rate at the end of it. So let's just say I'm glad at least that I'm paying for everything on my own so that no one but me gets to suffer when something goes wrong like this. But I was not my usual happy self turning in that car. I'm going to say that was an unfortunate event in Minnesota. Yeah. I did not yell. I did not scream. I didn't treat anybody poorly, but I made it very clear that I was pretty darn sure I had booked it for longer than they put me on for.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. You gotta,
Hey, but that's trade show life, and I've told people a billion times when stuff goes on, I'm like, hey, I have had a car wrecked in a hotel parking lot doing this before. A couple of hours on the thing. Yes, I got minorly unhappy, especially because I had to bail out of the show like at the last minute, just roll as fast as I could. I wasn't happy to be doing that, but there are a lot worse things. Like I said, I've spent more than $1,000 on damages on a car that didn't have the proper coverages before, so I can deal with a couple of hours of overage time.
Oh, crazy.
But hey, be prepared. It's a good notice. Be prepared. Check all of your listings and have all of your receipts when you're traveling, folks.
Yeah. All right. So Bevy Jean says, just saying from nursing background, I've had to bag up many a finger and send them off with patients to the surgeon. So
I've never seen an embroidery machine do that, but I know a lot of people who an X-ray scan will show you every place that the needle still is. Yeah. So I wouldn't push it.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you are wondering, will an embroidery machine push a needle through bone? Yes, it will.
All right. Well,
they are strong enough.
Now we're making me queasy here. So
don't just do it for fun, and don't listen to old veterans like us who do stupid stuff. Just keep your hands out from under.
Yeah. Keep your hands out of there. Yeah, I've got a massively overdone fear of needles. So just the conversation here makes me nervous.
Hey, dude. By the way, good on you for embroidering then, because there's nothing but.
It was a different deal. All right, well, let's get to it. Adam finally bringing us into reality here.
Right on. Thank you, Adam.
When generating content, how often should you post that content to each place? Multiple times a day, once a day, just consistent?
It depends on what you're doing. The thing is, you'll find that sometimes you have to do it multiple times a day to find out when people in your groups are hitting. I found sometimes that's where you start. I think consistency is the most important thing to keep posting. And also sometimes it's really about what you have time to do. If you have time to post every day or multiple times a day, you can, if that's a good use for your time for the moment, but you'll find that it's better to pace yourself and not just burn everything out in a couple of days and then have no content.
Yeah.
So I would, for my money at least, and I know Aaron's got something definitely to say on this score.
No, I agree with what you're saying there.
Don't burn out.
It will vary depending on the platform.
Sure.
But like Eric said, yes, you're better to be consistent and spaced out. So let's say you're doing an email, you're trying to do an email newsletter. I've run into people that are like, oh, I'm going to do a weekly email. It's like, okay, cool. I love the gumption. I love that you're ready to kind of roll, but can you consistently create enough content to be able to put out a good newsletter week after week? So maybe you should start with monthly, because I think people, when they sign up for a weekly newsletter and then all of a sudden it starts coming out monthly, they kind of go, and they're already kind of thinking about it. So there's that. Social media, same way. Can you generate content? I mean, I would use tools like a Buffer or a Hootsuite to schedule stuff, so you do have daily content, even when, so for me, I try to get things scheduled. Todd actually does a really great job of this with our success group and in general, getting everything scheduled. We were just at the trade show for a few days and weren't on social media a whole lot, but there was always posts in the groups and everything else coming from Todd and our success group. So, and
also don't overthink how finished your content has to be. And this is me saying this and not being good at it as I used to be. I used to be better at being this way, but you don't have to have a fully produced video every day, 3 times a day. Part of your content can also be a question, a poll, or curating content from other people, but commenting on it, reposting something that is interesting to your group and then making your own comment about it. It can be elevating someone else's post that way. And it's more about the overall kind of the overall tone and color of what you do and the consistency overall. I mean, you still want your content to be there, but there's nothing wrong with throwing in some curated content or having some of that content literally be text only, a quick picture, something else that's not as intensive for your labor.
Yeah.
So
good. Excellent question, Adam. Thank you. And Brian says, sounds like the making of a Halloween design.
Yeah, I have a lot of photographs of x-rays from, I did an article one time where we talked about it, and I've got a lot of pictures of x-rays and other things that I won't show. But yeah, there's definitely some Halloween to be had, but suffice it to say, folks, just be safe. Be safe. Don't put your hand under there.
Todd follows that up with an idea. This is an idea for Christine's novel that we talked about way back. That ways that the decorating business can kill you. But Mafia Crew takes a guy to a back room to rough him up and opens the door, and there sits an embroidery machine and a heat press.
I'll be honest, that probably would be, I'd be more afraid of that than the baseball bat because I don't want to find out.
Yeah.
No, suffice it to say, I mean, whenever I say like I've never been hit, here's the other tip. The reason why digitizers are so great at it, I know what direction the hoop is going to move next because I made the design. Of course, I don't get hit. If you're an operator, you might not know that. So if you're running your own design, it just gives you better chances. It's still not smart. Don't be a walking OSHA violation because we're being cute with you about how we've never gotten hit before.
Nice. All right. Adam says, I've been trying to post every day. It can be hard on non-hat making days. Yeah. And like Eric had said, though, it doesn't have to be posting of the hats every day. No. Just asking questions. Posting on social media is about engagement, meaning we just want people to be interacting with us, talking about it, right? Oh, that's a cool hat. But, some of Todd's most engaging posts, and here's how this works. So you get people to engage, and then you follow that up with a sales post or a more salesy type post, not a sales post specifically, but something more about your products. And then that post is going to get seen by more people because your last post was more engaging. So, we always get a ton of engagement on ranch versus blue cheese for your chicken wings.
Well, it's like the dad joke. The dad joke has nothing to do with decoration. If you're a Two Regular Guys listener, there's a dad joke every time. And believe me, if we miss the dad joke or don't do the dad joke at the right time, somebody says something. It has nothing to do with decoration or any of the topics that are going on. It has never been a topical joke, but we do it all the time. And if we post puns or dad joke content, nobody seems to think that's a problem, and it still keeps our page alive. So we could totally have dad joke posts as part of the Two Regular Guys because it's part of the culture. And it also still builds your brand and humanizes your brand because it's part of you or what you're into. And especially then if it was topical, if we post jokes about decoration or we post a question about, hey, what's your challenge today? Are you thinking about the holidays now? Time's ticking for you to have new designs out. If we post that, we don't have to do a lot of work, but it's still useful to the people who are watching and it's topical. So any of those things you do, you're building brands, you're showing your culture, you're providing something useful, even if it's not a lot of content or a lot of like extra generation of, assets, it's still valuable, still useful, and can keep that kind of heartbeat going for your channel.
I agree. Let's see if I can find it. I actually had a topical one that I used in my seminar at Applicate Getaway.
Oh, did you really?
It was basically a needlepoint design that said, this proves that I have the patience to poke somebody with something with a needle over 1,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, let's see here. Christine says, I was trying to figure out logistically how someone had and mouse for the story, of course, right?
Sure.
We'll leave that there. Todd was talking about, so we mentioned on Two Regular Guys podcast today, but we've got a content calendar over there at osgresources.com that you can check out. And we did have some feedback. Todd had some feedback from somebody that, they thought it should be more industry related at times. And, certainly love the feedback, but, we felt like they were missing the point a little bit here, right? Is that we want it to be more engaging. So I appreciate that. So let's see here. Anything else on that, Eric? Sorry.
Oh, no, I just think, it's like I said, you aren't just a machine that shirts come in and come out decorated, and that you shouldn't be. And I think that it's perfectly fine to talk about things that are not on that topic. Plus, we've all decorated garments for every manner of event and holiday out there. It's not like we couldn't throw a stock design. It's National Donut Day. I throw a stock design of a donut up there and go, these are the kind of donuts I liked. I mean, that's all you have to do. And all of a sudden we've related it to our copy, and it's still interesting. And somebody might then think of us for embroidering with something that they wanted, or want that donut design on something. There's multiple vectors by which that still is interesting.
Perfect. All right. Lisa says, post finished hats and ask questions, or point out some details, and refer back to, did you see this?
Yeah,
I like that. That's great.
Well, also, if you've done a video earlier in the week, there's absolutely nothing wrong with then posting a link to the video and be like, just in case you missed it, here's that video that I did on Wednesday. Did anybody have any questions? What would you like to see more of? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I mean, you don't want to keep on spamming the same thing over and over, but give it a couple days, or mix it up with an earlier video, or post one from last week again and just show it. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, reusing content's totally fine. Again, it's how you creatively bring it back into the fold, right? And then it becomes not spam. It just becomes, hey, just making sure you didn't miss this, or what questions you have, that kind of thing. I love it. Adam says, I try to respond to every comment to show I'm engaged.
100%.
Awesome. Great job.
Perfect.
Great job. So you're taking care of your half, but you have to encourage people to do their half by asking the questions and making sure that they are commenting.
And then when they do, reward them with your attention, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what you're doing there. Perfect. Great job, Adam. High five. Boom.
Yeah, no, Adam's on it, man. I wish I was this together at his age. Seriously.
Todd says, I spend a few hours 1 day a week to create content across all platforms for the week, with 1 to 5 posts per day per platform. So there you go.
That's money. That is money, Todd.
Sheila, we're talking about the stitching. That's some hand sewing techniques. That's
I don't think you can't whip stitch on an embroidery machine. By the way, Todd says National Donut Day is June 7th, FYI. The question that everybody wants to know is, did you have to Google it, Todd? If you just knew National Donut Day, I got to ask you why that was on your mind, my man. Probably from the content calendar, I'm going to guess, but
probably,
you don't know. Maybe a huge donut fan.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Adam here real quick, and then we'll come back to Todd. Does boosting posts on Facebook help spread the posts? According to Facebook Boost, I had 78 link clicks, but my website showed 8.
Yeah, I don't. That's a hard one to say. I've had boosts work for posts, but usually they have to be pretty focused. I don't know. That's a weird one to have that kind of a discrepancy.
There's definitely something. I would say there's probably something on the pixel that's not set up and unfortunately, the thing I hate about Facebook is that they don't make their product easy to use. It's like there's no way. Yeah. So
no.
But
I'll say honestly, every update they've done has made it more of a specialty tool for agencies and less of a tool for individuals to use.
Yeah.
That's the absolute truth.
So,
yes, there are more tools available. That means it's also a little more Byzantine, a little harder to navigate.
Yeah. So Adam, just a quick note from my point of view here. The boosting posts will be something to do to try to, but at the end of the day, though, the links clicked is one thing. What the most important part is to look at what got that end thing that you want to have happen, whether that's a purchase or and you may not be able to track that directly. You can, but it may be a little more difficult to set up. But if the link clicks is one thing, and then what happens once they click the link and get there, that's the more important part to work on. So, doing a boosted post every now and again is fine, but if it's not getting you that ultimate what you want to have happen, then you need to look at what happens once they get there. And so that's why sometimes boosting posts are fine, but it really is still only getting you to a vanity metric, where we want an action metric of what was the ultimate action that you want them to take. So I boost posts very sparingly, and then look at more ways to do actual campaigns as opposed to just boosting posts.
Boosting posts can get eyes on it, and it really depends on what phase you're into. Are you in the building audience phase, or are you in the getting closures, getting conversions phase? There are different phases and different reasons to do that stuff.
Yeah. So Todd was talking about the other day, had the calendar open, and Jeff says, can't tell you how many conversations Adam and I have had about marketing. That's so awesome. Jeff, you're an awesome dad, dude. Keep it up.
Absolutely, man.
All right. So to close this out here, Todd has got a question for you, Erich. How is the house coming?
All right. So that is so accurate, because it's frustrating and unfinished.
There you go. See you next week, everybody.
Bye, folks.